Hello, and welcome to this gentle yoga practice. Thank you for being here. Come to a comfortable seated position. Hands can be resting down, connected to the lower body, or palms up, whatever feels best for you. Close your eyes if you like and begin to connect with the breath. First, observing your natural breath. Then deepening your breath awareness by bringing one hand to your heart, one to your low belly. Feeling the wave of breath move through the core of the body. With each breath in, each filling up, with the lower body heavy into the earth. With the exhale, with the emptying, the upper body lifting taller without strain, rather with ease. Breathing yourself into a sacred sanctuary that you create through your practice. This container that is safe, compassionate, patient. Loving on the body. Start to feel across your belly and your breasts with your hands in a figure eight type movement. If you struggle with body image challenges and this is a little beyond where you're ready to go right now, just float the hands slightly away from the body, still creating that energetic connection. And with time, connect more deeply through the physical touch. Your own touch is the most healing thing you can do for yourself. Bring your hands both to heart center, overlapping. Take a moment to set your intention and offer it out. Breathing the arms wide and overhead. Exhaling to the earth. Hands back at heart center. Breathing out, open and above. Exhaling to the earth. Inhaling out, open, above, exhaling to the earth. Find your own breath rhythm and movement pace. And full round of breath with these movements. Starting out to march around the spine a bit. Breathing in and out. Draw the heart forward and taller. As you exhale down, chin to the chest and tilt the pelvis to round the back. Last time, inhale out. Wide and tall. Meeting the earth again with the fingertips. Landing the hands back at heart center. Moment to extend the left leg out to the side. rolling a bit through the ankle, knee, and up into the hip joint. A few times in each direction. And taking the fingertips to the earth in front of you, tilt and rock back through the pelvis. Arching, rounding the spine just a bit. Switching legs now. Bring the left back in, send the right out, and circle. And connected to that mindful breath. Again, finding that little bit of pelvic tilting, spinal extension, and curving. Opening the hips, the hamstrings, the lumbar spine. We'll now extend both legs wide, circling. You can draw the knees up a bit. I like to place my hands on my knees, send some of that loving touch into the knee joints. And coming to seated windshield wipers. Hands on the earth behind you. Feet wide, knees side to side. Then pausing to roll the shoulders 3 times before continuing another set of windshield wipers and another set of shoulder rolls. Going back and forth. Taking the knees to the right, lift the left arm to the sky, extending tall. Preparing for mermaid twist, but first lengthening into a fold over the right leg. Rising back up. You can exhale as you fold forward and inhale as you rise tall. Once more. Setting yourselves up for a nice seated twist here. Left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you on the blanket or the mat. Draw up through the crown of the head. Breathe in fully down into the lower body. Breathe out that lifting and lengthening. Back to our seated position, taking a nice little back bend and a nice little rounding spine before going to the other side. Knees left, right arm up, lift and extend, then fold on the out breath, rise on the in breath. A few more times, folding and lifting. Last one. Taking it into the twist on this side, right hand to the left knee. And the fingertips to the earth behind you. Push the right hip forward, open the low belly. Open the breath. And back through center for one more. Arching and rounding. We're coming to bound angle. We're going to bring our blocks in here. Maybe 2 blocks, maybe 1. Bringing ourselves to a seated forward fold, seated bound angle, very much supported on the blocks. So you can play with different heights, you can stack them, even bring your hands under your forehead, creating more elevation. Think of props as a way to kind of bring the earth up to you. And a way to make poses more accessible, a way to meet your body right where it is. As we do this on the mat, we get more comfortable doing it in life. Take your time to round up and out here, setting the blocks to one side. We'll come back to those in a moment. Roll the shoulders, take one big sun breath to wrap up these gentle warm-ups. Into our gentle working phase of the practice. Take the blanket you were sitting on and give yourself a little more support for your knees. Bring the knees onto the blanket, hip width. So we're prepping for table pose, but we're gonna put the hands on our flat blocks, as you can see me doing here. Going right into some cat-cow breaths, that spinal movement, keeping the back, the spine, the core healthy. With movement and breath. Find your way to neutral spine and side bend, kind of wagging the tail. And the hip and shoulder on each side, closer to each other. Then we'll extend the left leg back, toes to the earth, cross it over the midline to the right. And stay right there or increase that side bend by looking over your right shoulder. Lovely side body opening here. Plus gently awakening the hamstrings. Take your time to come out. Take a cat-cow breath. And same thing on the other side. Extend the right leg, toes to the earth. Sink back in the heel. And then cross the right leg over the midline to the left. Look over your left shoulder to see your foot. And exhale out, bringing the knees back under the hips. Tilting the pelvis and rounding. I'm going to scoot my blanket back just a bit. So I'm just on my mat as we go into the next pose. Taking the knees wide, big toes touching. Getting down into a modification of child's pose. My hands are going to stay on these blocks. And depending on my shoulders, I'm going to keep my head floating off the earth in line with my neck. If it doesn't strain the shoulder joint, you can drop the forehead to the ground, but don't push it. Big, beautiful breaths, lengthening the spine and gradually unburdening the shoulders. Come back up, slide the hands, the blocks back, and see if pressing up into downward dog is an option for you. Take a cat-cow breath here. Lift the hips, keep the knees at least slightly bent, and try to get a nice line from hip joint to shoulders to wrists. You might move the legs a bit, or be still. Let your head just hang. Nice. Back down to kneeling. Open the blocks a little wider, bring them tall. We'll step the left foot through to a low lunge, starting with a flow forward and back. Low lunge to half split, one of my favorites. Keep that front foot planted. Come into your low lunge. Draw the blocks back a bit, about under the shoulders. I'm going to really reach up tall through the crown of the head here, melting the pelvis, reaching the right arm up. Hard to see here, but my left hand is staying on that tall block. Take a few of those hinges, like we did earlier seated. Really lengthening that right side. Coming out here and then into a side bend, leaning left. Stay strong in that lower body. And take your time coming out. We'll take the blocks forward, press back to a half split. Holding here with a tall neutral spine. Standing down into the left foot. Lifting and lengthening through the heart. Keeping the hips squared off. Beautiful. Forward into the lunge so you can step the left foot back. Flat blocks again. Child's pose, puppy stretch, or downward dog. Here I'm showing puppy stretch. The hips stay high. I slid the blocks forward. And just opening those shoulders. Now I'm pulling back, showing you the child's pose option, a different child's pose option. If you wanted a little softer shoulder posture. Coming back up and through to that supported table pose, tall on the blocks. Mindfully stepping the right foot through to work with our lunge half split action on this side. Gently coming forward and back, loving into the lower body, lengthening up through heart center, crown of the head. Settle into your lunge. Notice my knee stays over the ankle. And stacking the shoulders over the hips. Reaching the left arm up. Now you can see here, I'm keeping the right fingertips on the right block for support. Work with that hinging, that bowing action. 3 times. And reaching up tall and reaching over to the right for that left side bend. Fill the side body with breath and release. Reaching back into that half split, you can adjust the position of your blocks. Tall and lifted, even reach down through the back of the right leg. And forward to the lunge a little bit, so it's easy to step back. Actually, let's prop up and step forward. Standing forward fold, blocks in front of the toes, wiggle it out, shake it out. And this is going to be our only standing posture. Walk the legs, and then we'll start to add in a sweep of the arm. So opposite arm of the leg that's bending, sweep around. So this is some more nice side body opening. And you'll see I'm setting my knuckles back down on the blocks. You can find a height that works for you, palms of the hands or fingertips. Feeling through and then folding, nice deep fold. Move the hips over the heels, belly towards the thighs. And we'll bring ourselves back down to the earth, stepping the right foot back through a high lunge. Release that knee to the ground. Now step the left foot back. And we're going to make a seat with our blocks. You might have to play with this a bit. You notice I let my videos be real. I'm not going to edit out the issues, the mistakes, the wardrobe adjustments. This is the real practice, right? So you'll see here I did a medium block edge and then a flat block. And then we're just going to shake things out to the arms, hands, upper body. This is a nice supported hero's pose. If this doesn't work for you, come seated. This can be a big pose for the knees. So the hands to heart center, and then sun breathing up. Draw your left arm behind your back. Keep the right arm reaching tall, and then pulling that right arm back. You can't see my hand here. The palms facing the midline, and I'm drawing back through the shoulder. Okay. I'm going to sweep now that arm down and then up. So I come tall on the knees. And if you want, add a little back bend here. Kind of a modified Ustrasana camel pose. Be some nice big opening on that left shoulder that's behind the back. Reach back. Nice. Take your time to come out. Sit back to the blocks. Actually, you can take a cat-cow breath here if you like. And sit back to the blocks. Wiggle out the upper body. Adjust my little seat here. Whoops. See? Messy. So I'm lowering the seat a little bit here as my legs get a little more comfortable. Shake things out again. Hand to the heart. Big sun breath reaching up. And then right arm behind the back. Stay seated here on the blocks for a moment as you lengthen. Tall through the spine. Start to draw the left arm back. Then sweep it down. And as you sweep it up, come tall on the knees. Right into that gentle back bend here. If you want, you can look up, come back a little taller, or just keep it softer, chin towards the chest. Releasing again to table, finding a rounded spine to release that back bend. And bring your blocks out from under your seat. We'll use those again in a moment. Crawl yourself back onto your seat with legs out in front of you. We want to be on the blanket still, using that as a little support under the sit bones. Seated sage pose. Right knee hugs in towards the chest. Left leg extends. Foot flex, toes to the sky. Draw yourself up tall, hugging the right knee with the right arm. Then twisting towards the bent leg. Experiment with bringing a block behind you to put your right hand on, lifting your heart tall, turning the chin to the right shoulder. You might slide the block out. See what works best. You might not need the block. We just want to be sure that we don't lean back in our twist. Enhancing the twist with the breath. Bringing lots of love deep into the vital organs. Let an unwind, right knee falls out to the side. We'll bring in our strap for the next pose. Lasso the left foot, you want the strap at the ball joint across the widest part. Sit tall, holding each end of the strap in one hand. Twist a bit, just a bit to the left towards that extended leg. And adjust the length of your strap that when you open the arms, you bring yourself into a forward fold that meets your needs. Leading with the heart, head lifted at first. Then rounding the spine a bit, dropping the head towards the knee. Jana Shirsasana, head to knee pose. Take your time to come out from this side. Find a few windshield wipers before going to the other side. Right leg extends, left knee hugs in. Tall seated sage. When you're ready, turning left into the twist. Block support behind you or not. Keep the right leg activated. Keep the breath moving. Open across the collarbones, between the shoulder blades. Open the expanse of your mind beyond worrisome thoughts. Unwinding and rocking the seat as we let the left knee drop out to the side and connect the strap to the right foot. Adjusting the strap, lifting tall and twisting the core towards the right knee a bit. Folding as much of a flat back as possible at first. So you can draw the arms out, to draw yourself forward, and bow. Breath is everything. The anchor that connects our life to peace, to love, to ease. When you're ready, lift the head, the heart, come out of your forward fold. A couple more windshield wipers before our next position. We're going to take ourselves down onto the mat with a little bit of back bend support here. Notice I'm folding my blanket long and narrow. And I want to place it so that when I roll down onto my back, knees bent, the bottom edge of that blanket is at the base of my shoulder blades. So kind of supporting the upper back here. The very top of the shoulders may reach the ground on the other side. Arms extend at shoulder height. Chin tucked to the chest, and the back of the neck is always nice and long. And rest the legs here for a minute, taking the feet wide, knees together. Just breathe. Feel that lovely support under your back. Melt into it through the breath. Through presence, invite your mind again and again and again to be here. And taking the knees apart, feet closer together. Come to reclined pigeon, right leg in figure 4. And either leaving the left foot on the ground or placing a block under the sole of the foot so that you come into a little deeper pigeon, but you don't have to reach forward and strain to grab the back of the left leg. This is a nice modification with this subtle back bend, with this blanket support. That's going to tilt the pelvis. If you do find it's possible to reach up and grab the back of the left thigh with some ease, do that. But you don't want to strain the neck, the upper body. One of my favorite sayings for life is, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Let's release from that side. Work your block over under the right foot, or not. Find that figure four with the left side. And just enjoy the hip opening. Breathe into the sensations. Connect more fully to your unique experience. Accept more fully your unique experience. Loving on through the breath. And take our time here, releasing that left side block out of the way. Scoot back a little bit so that gentle blanket support is under the middle of your back. And we'll let the knees drop open to recline bound angle. Blocks come under the knees to support them, and here's our final pose. Encourage you, if you have time, to make this portion of your practice longer. For the sake of video space, we usually keep it just a minute or so. But you can go 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes in Savasana or your restorative poses. Your mind, body, and soul will thank you. Breathe deeply and consider this mantra: Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. May the will of the highest consciousness be done, not mine. Stretching it out. In other words, let go and let God. Whatever God means to you. Take your time to roll to one side. Again, you can pause this video or just let it play and stay in that final pose longer. But when you do come out, right side for a couple breaths. And then press up nice and slow to seated. For closing, for seal, hands at heart center. Honoring ourselves, each other, and the divine that lives within each and every one of us. Aho. Namaste. Aho. Amen. Namaste. Amen.